2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8 says, "We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed." I want to say tonight, I refuse to give up. This verse is in fact the testimony of a Christian who refuses to give up in spite of what he's dealing with. When you read this text, Paul is speaking from experience. You see, one of the problems with the body of Christ is that we testify from a hypothetical situation. We talk about how good God is because all is well. But the text says that it makes a difference when the water is in your boat. Whatever situation we are in does not have to be in us. I don't think you got it. Listen, peace doesn't mean I won't have problems. Peace means my problems won't have me. You see, God can deliver you in a situation way before He delivers you out of the situation. Here's what I mean. He says we are troubled, but we are not distressed. We are perplexed, but we are not in despair. We are persecuted, but not forsaken. We are cast down, but we are not destroyed. The truth of your testimony is tested in trouble. If you got a real testimony, it came from a test. And so the lesson tonight is, the side of the conjunction you choose to live on shows how strong your faith is. Some of you live on the left side. You are troubled, but some of us on the right side, we are not distressed. Some of us live on the left side. We've been persecuted. But some of us on the right side, we are not forsaken. Some of us on the left side, we've been cast down, but the right side, we are not destroyed. Here's what Paul is saying. You see, he's saying we are troubled, but not in distress. He's saying when you live on the right side, you will have peace in spite of pressure. We don't know why stuff happens. You can't understand why, but you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know what. You don't have to know why. You don't have to know when. But I know God. I don't know what happened, but I know God. And if I know God, I can get through anything I'm going through, because faith is the conviction that God can get me through what I'm going through. That's what faith is. I can get through it. Just because it doesn't make sense to you does not mean that it doesn't make sense to God. You and I don't live on explanations. We live on revelation. Some of you think you know everything. But if you did know everything, then you would be God. But the truth is, you don't know everything. You don't have the same wisdom God has. So when you don't know His wisdom, you have to trust His will. Life is lived forward, but understood backwards. You live it as you go, but you don't understand it. When you look back on all of your life and you see what God has done, you start to understand how good God was to you. I may be disappointed, like John the Baptist. I may be depressed, like Elijah. Discouraged, like Jeremiah. Devastated, like Job. But I am not giving up. I'm going to hold on to God's unchanging hand. Persecuted, but not forsaken. He's what the lesson teaches. I can smile even though I've been slandered. This is for people like me who've been talked about, who've been stabbed in the back, because one of the most painful problems of my pilgrimage is dealing with people problems, because betrayal never comes from an enemy. I've been around long enough to know life is like an elevator. On your way up, you got to let some people off You see, you could be alone and not be lonely. You could be surrounded by people and still be lonely. It's not who is against you that matters. It is who is for you. It's one thing to be knocked down. It's another thing to be knocked out. You got to learn how to bounce back because you will be knocked down. But you're going to learn how to bounce back.